Hi, this is Mikey D, and this is a short review of Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions Evolved. The game itself is quite advanced from the previous offerings, and we'll just go ahead and start it up and do a little bit of gameplay. So on the game store page itself, before we even start, it does have full controller support, so of course SteamOS Linux native. The game itself was ported by a great team. I believe it was the Asper porting team, and they did quite a good job. Now there was, I don't know if it's been fixed, I believe maybe actually recently, the resolution issues on TVs, I believe, that were above 720p, or it looked kind of stretched to some people. I never really saw that big of a deal, but we'll go ahead and take a look here. Now I am playing again on a 4x3 LCD display, so I will have to crop a little bit, and I'm hoping to replace this test PC's monitor in a little bit here. So let's go ahead and launch it. And you'll notice it is kind of a little stretched, so you'll have to forgive me a little bit, at least initially, with some of my first videos here, and hopefully we'll get past that. So it is Steam Cloud enabled, which is nice. Now the thing about this game and some games you have to keep in mind is that the Steam Cloud, some games do not transfer the save files between like OSs. So I believe you can still manually transfer your game's save files even from Steam Cloud. But I found that with Windows, with Geometry Wars, and maybe other games, that I had to manually do this because Steam Cloud, when I went on Windows and I switched over to SteamOS fully with no partitions at all anymore with Windows, I did not have all the levels that I had beaten. So I found that out, and just something to note. So let's hit an adventure here. Now this game here I have, I believe, yep, because there's no more. I think there's some extra levels, but I have beaten the game here, and most of the levels, I spent a fair bit of time trying to get, higher stars here. So the game itself has several modes. There's the game mode Deadline, where you just go through until the target runs out, and the game itself, in order to help you with these game modes, and as you progress you get more of these abilities, gives you different weapon types, different defense types. So if we'll do game mode Deadline here, and we'll go through. So there's attack assists, collect, which will collect all the little things that max out or up your combo bonus. Ram I never really used a lot, but it will seek out enemies. Snipe is very good for levels where you have to survive on one life and you want to just maintain your position, and this will accurately shoot around enemies. Defend I never really used that much, but it will shoot in the direction of the enemies once you start firing. So we're just going to choose, for Deadline, we're going to choose attack because we want to shoot as many things as possible. And for our supers, now again, all these things, these abilities, is what makes Geometry Wars 3 a nice game. The previous games was fun, and you went on a grid and you were able to shoot around, and it got very hectic and you get your high score. This game is more focused on progression. So you hit one level, you keep going, maybe go back a few levels and get a higher star rating, and then upgrade your abilities, your super here. That way you can get a much higher score, progress further in the game. So the game does give you some that kind of, it's not really an RPG effect, but it does, this progression that's built in now is very nice. It has good replayability. I put much more hours into this game than I did in previous games. So some of the abilities here, the turn here, we'll just do a spread shot in whatever position you're in. Now if there are barriers around you, it will not shoot through the barriers. The clone is kind of nice if you're in a level where you're being surrounded and you do have the previous ability with extra firepower, that it'll give you an extra person for a limited amount of time, so you can shoot much more bullets out of your ship. The miner is kind of nice. It lays down landmines as you travel around. Nice for some boards. The homing missiles are kind of nice, and again, once these are upgraded, they're much better. So there is even progression into the abilities, which is very nice. Homing will shoot out missiles all over the board and target any enemies. Black hole will pull in the enemies and then eventually make them, I think it makes them explode. I didn't use this one that much, but keep in mind this is not something where you want to stay where you deploy the black hole. It's not something that pulls it into you and you're shielded. I stupidly, for some reason, thought that was the case. So we're just going to choose turn here. And we have a bit of a time limit. So the one thing nice about this game also is being in dimensions, is that the game itself, the levels, will be shaped differently. Now, again, you have to forgive me with my resolution here, because the game, if it does not show up correctly from recording, is designed for widescreen, I believe so, and I'm not sure if you can, make it go into different sizings. And as you go around the board, there's also these short abilities you can pick up that will give you rapid fire, give you homing abilities, shields, and all sorts of stuff. So there's plenty and plenty of content in this game, and so many things to give it variety, which I have to applaud the team. I think it's Bizarre Creations that designed this or developed this game. And we're going to use our super, so it spreads all the way around. So this is a nice super for a level like this. That's a full sphere, nothing blocking the ability. And we just picked up rapid fire here. There's different enemy types this time. There's also one that's kind of like a bunch of little cells, like nuclei, and they'll keep rapidly expanding and spreading all over the map. There's all sorts of little things in this game that really give it a lot of variety, and I do have to applaud Bizarre Creations for their work on this game. It's very vibrant, the resolutions are nice, the levels look very vibrant, crisp, has like that very classic neon feel and look that the previous games have, and it even takes it to a much bigger level. And we'll use our R trigger to, actually we don't have any bombs, but the right trigger would normally deploy your super bomb if you had one. The left trigger will give you your supers, and it's a twin stick shooter like most, but with all this variety, it kind of rises above the crop. Other games like this that I did enjoy were Ultratron, and there's a few other, I can't recall too many at the moment. And we're just going to near the end of the level here. And quick restarts, and we'll just kind of look around the board here and see what else there is here. So you get progression at the end, which is nice, and you'll get starred on every level. And what I should note is if we back out here, the game also has classic modes, and then those are the bonus levels I referenced a lot earlier. So in the classic mode, you can choose from a different couple mode types where it tries to emulate the old Geometry Wars, so Geometry Wars 2, and maybe, I'm not sure, previous to Geometry Wars 1. So normally was the Evolved here, where is a game mode in this game, but it kind of tries to replicate the original, where you're on a plain grid, you have so many lives, and you try and score as many as possible. Now, the online scoring and positioning against other friends of yours, for some reason after a while mine stopped working. I'm not sure if that's true for everyone, but it's something to note if you do see that you're offline, but something to note. So again, the evolved mode here is more classic feeling. I'm not sure if the enemy types and things are adjusted a little bit, but it tries to give you that old feel you had in the previous games. So on a whole, Geometry Wars 3 is a fantastic game to pick up. If you find it on a sale, I would not even hesitate to pick up this game. If you're a fan of twin stick shooters, I would definitely go for this, and it is a supreme improvement over the previous games. Not to say that previous are not good and you shouldn't go back and play them, but on SteamOS this is what we have, and /Linux. So definitely pick it up, and this is Mikey D / Professor Chaos 64 on the Steam Universe forums, Reddit, Professor Chaos KAOS 64, and that information and more links will be available in the video description. Thank you very much.